Hello, Jamie. Hello. And I'm your biggest fan as well. And you're the best commentator I know. The best Dutch commentator, the best Dutch English commentator. I guess. I don't know. I think we can go. So is in. Yeah, they are all in. Let's go. The best duo. The best English-Dutch duo. Absolutely. No other duo comes even close. If there is any. Not that I know of. But let's get this one started then. Good evening and welcome back to, Revolution. As the rebrand it is of F1 Broke Boys. And, look at the weather, but this is going to be the first Tier 3 race under this rebranded name. And we kick off the season with a pre-season race at a track that is going to be on the calendar next year alongside with Madrid. So 2 races in Spain, and it's the Barcelona Grand Prix, and it is absolutely soaking wet in qualifying right now. But I'm very happy to be back on commentary for Tier 3, and I'm looking forward to the season as well. It's going to be a bit of a longer season. 15 races to be exact, not including the preseason races. There's 2 preseason races. This is the first of them. The other one is going to be next week at Abu Dhabi. And then the week after that, that's not true, 2 weeks after that, we start off the real season on the 3rd of July. Yep, in Melbourne, but that's something for later on. Anyway, preseason, it's going to be interesting to see what the pace is going to be like. This is not going to be the official grid, so everyone who is in this lobby might not be part of the real season. These preseason races are being used to determine the grid, to determine the pace of these drivers, and it might change around a little bit, but there are quite a few familiar names. Lennon's Jesus, Uno Master, Critical Skills, Sky, Soul Demon, Alpha Ball, Jumping Painter, we all seen before last season in action in Tier 3 as well. Same for Wardy, Twish Terry. A few new names as well for the first time in this league. And Arban is raising himself as well, the owner, in Tier 3 preseason tonight. He did do Tier 2 as well yesterday, so I guess he just wants to have some fun tonight as well. It's an unofficial race anyway, so why not? But a few cars out on track. Zaid in the Williams, Soul Demon in the Alpine, the man who missed out on the Drivers' Championship last season. At the final race, got himself a pit lane speeding penalty, which in the end could have costed him the World Championship, which did go to Tolu on his second attempt of getting the championship. Uno Masters out as well. Sorry for his POV. Some of these cars I haven't really fixed the camera position yet. Majority have, but Ferrari and Red Bull are the only two which I haven't done so it's not gonna be not gonna bother you too much. But Unimaster is the first one to show lap time, and these lap times, well, will hardly be any representative of what we're gonna see in the race. I'm not sure what the weather will be in the race, and I think we might have encountered a glitch in this session, because I've been told that the track appears to be dry for, well, at least one of the drivers. I'm not sure if everyone else has the same. The track appears dry, but it feels like you're driving on ice. Yeah, so we're gonna have to deal with that. It's an unfortunate glitch, which will be in the game in the first few weeks, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. But Unimaster going into the final sector. Making his way now on the exit of turn 12 and 13 and 14, which are usually flat out. But in the wet, very much not. Now into the final corner, struggling with the back end, and the Ferrari will cross the line for a 1:29.567 to put himself at the top of the times. But let's see if we are gonna see someone beat that. Soul Demon goes quite wide, but doesn't invalidate. And he does go quickest by almost 2 seconds. To the Ferrari, of course, well, a front runner last season, so you're going to expect him to be quick off the get-go. Tusteri about to start his flying lap as well. Zate BW is on the intermediates, and let's see what difference will be. Around 2.5 seconds, a little bit more compared to Soul Demon, 1:30.2. Then we look at Kai going into the final sector. It's not purple through the middle sector. He's been on pole position, I think, twice last season, in season 12. And one of them was at Las Vegas. He got his first pole position there. The other one was a little bit later in the season. He is going to cross the line. It's not going to be the quickest lap time that we've seen at 29.7. Puts him behind Unimaster. Beatrice goes up to P3 into the 28s, and a few hundreds behind Jumpy Painter, who's gone second place. 8/10 though behind his former teammate. Jumpy Painter and Soul Demon, Constructors champions of season 12. Speaking of Soul Demon, he goes quickest. He goes quicker. 27.0, 1.4 seconds ahead of his former teammate. Overdue Brett in the other Alpine will cross the line to go to P6, just ahead of Unimaster. Alpha Wall on the intermediates appears to be struggling quite a bit, and he is going to cross the line, go P6, just ahead of the Alpine, but right behind Wardy, who's gone up to P5, and Wardy's on the intermediates as well. Let's take a look at the tires actually. So Piotr's critical skills, Wardy, Alpha Wall, and Zake Lennons and Armin all on the intermediates, while the rest of them are on the full wets. And at the moment the full wets seem to be the quicker tire, was Soul Demon. If you look at the gap, 1.4 seconds clear of his teammate, who is also on the full wets. And is he going to find another improvement on his third lap? He does, by just over 1/10 of a second, but he does go into the 126s. Soul Demon ahead of the field by quite the distance. Wardy then is improving by 8 tenths, and he goes onto the front row on intermediates, but still 1.3 seconds behind the Alpine. And Woosteri from P9 jumps up to P7. Right behind him, his teammate for this race, Arbon, is going to start his first flying lap on the intermediates as well. R5 was just gone up to P5. So we might just see a transition in this qualifying where the intermediates do become the better tire near the end. At the moment, Soul Demon does seem very comfortable on the full wets. Through the second sector, it's already quite tricky in the dry, and even more so in the wet, sliding his way through turn 9, which is far from flat out in these conditions. 101.1 is quite quick though, as Soul Demon, another half a second quicker, just keeping those laps in, and lap after lap after lap. 126.4 is 1.8 seconds ahead as but there's a massive slide coming out of turn 12. Trying to find some grip, but clearly struggling. His first lap time on the board is going to be a 128.075, puts him actually on the front row, albeit 1.6 seconds behind Soul Demon. Lennon hasn't got a lap time yet, and he's not going to be able to do it on this lap either, because he invalidates coming out of turn 14. Two-time world champion in Tier 3 Jesus, trying to set a lap time as well. Keeps it nice and tidy within the track limits. 130.7, currently slowest of the ones who set a lap time. But it is his first lap time on the board, which only leaves the 2 Red Bulls out there to try and get a lap in. It's all about getting those laps in. You know, pitting doesn't really help you out. You need to get into that flow. Put a lot of fuel in the car, and just go out there and put in lap after lap after lap. On F124, I did one race in season 11 in Tier 1, which was at Barcelona as well. And I just went out on full wets in similar conditions. Just stayed on those tires for the rest of qualifying, and in the end did 8 or 9 laps, and I got pole with that lap on those 8 lap old tires, so they don't really wear out in the rain. As Wardy P3 he goes. And Al5 Wall goes second, but nobody can get anywhere close to Soul Demon. The 4 drivers behind him are all in intermediates, but he is just flying out there on those full wets. Same can't be said for Jumpy Painter, who is not improving on this lap. Still 2 seconds behind the Alpine, and he is going to start another lap, I think. Lenz might be getting held up a little bit by the Williams, because Said is on a lap as well, I think, so won't be getting out of the way, wanting to finish his lap as well, and I think that is affecting Lennon's lap time as well. Getting right up to the back of the Williams. And Wardy goes to second place, and he's the first one to get within 1 second of Soul Demon. And look how close the Red Bull now is to the back of the Williams. I think Lennon has backed off a little bit there. Trying try not to lose too much time on his next lap, although Z8 is going to pull into the pit lane, so that is going to give Lennon some clear track ahead of him. Puts it at 1:30.5, which is quicker than Jesus, surprisingly enough. Sui goes P6 in the other Red Bull on his first valid lap. And Barty is improving once more. And Soul Demon has gone out on the intermediates now as well. So let's see if it's gonna be even quicker. And those behind. But Jumpy Painter improves now by 1.5 seconds. And he's now onto the front row on those full wets. Half a second behind his former teammate. So the pace is still there on full wets. Actually quite similar, I think. The wets and intermediates. I think this is going to be another good improvement for Wardy. On the final corner he goes. And at 27.0 he stays in P3, but the gap is down to under 6/10. We are going to keep an eye out on Soul Demon. Let's take a look at what he can do on the intermediates as we ride on board with the Alpine. Going through turns 1 and 2. Very aggressive on the inside curb through turn 1. Not so much through turn 2. And turn 3 just sliding his way through the back end, wanting to step out. Really has to correct the slide there. But he's still improving on his time. Hold it by only 0.04 of a second as Twisteri is gone on to P3. On the inters. Now coming out of turn 5. Once again, big moment on the exit. Now the turn 7 and 8 chicane. Very, very tricky in these conditions, especially through turn 9, which is flat in the dry. And he is improving by 0.4 of a second, so he might be going to the 125s with this lap. Even though you can't quite see it on board, but he's clearly very comfortable in these conditions. Because he's by far the quickest out there. And Soul Demon goes fastest at 125.4. Brilliant final sector as well. And he's once again 1.4 seconds clear of anyone else. Twisteri, 3/10 up. Should be able to get him onto the front row again. Just doesn't run wide of this final corner when he doesn't. And he's going to go up into P2. And critical skills, 6/10 up. And he might be able to beat Twisteri with that. And he does so. P2. Piotrus is improving, and that's a big improvement. Goes onto the front row, 2.5 seconds gained on that lap. And Arbon now replaces the Aston Martin. 5/10 behind Soul Demon. And Jesus was improving by 2 seconds, but unfortunately invalidated his lap time. And Soul Demon goes even quicker, 124.7. Once again 1.2 seconds. The track conditions are really starting to get better now in these final moments of his qualifying session. Alpha Wall goes up to P5. And then we look at Lennon, who is just going to start his lap. And someone's going very slow. That's a Unomaster on his out lap. Twisteri not improving on this lap. And he is going to start his final lap. He gained 7/10 in that final sector. Sky now goes to P5. And Jumpy Painter started on the lap. And he is on the intermediates now as well. But I think everyone is on inters. As Critical Skills starts his final lap, and so will the Aston Martin. Arbon will not be improving. Gonna pull into the pit lane. Presumably has ran out of fuel. Are we gonna see another mighty improvement for Soul Demon? Through the final corner. Here he goes. Are we gonna see a 123? Oh, not quite, but a 124.003. Another brilliant improvement, and he can do another lap. He's got time to go again. As the flag has now fallen and overdue red is the first one towards the line, and he will stay in P12. Alpha Wall stays in 7th place. Lennons is up next, and Lennons goes to 2nd, 1.4 seconds behind. And Twisteri from P9 goes up to P3, and he sets the exact same lap time as Lennons, but the Red Bull set it just a few seconds earlier, which means he will be in P2, but not for longer, because Jumpy Painter has improved now. Onto the front row he goes, still a second off Soul Demon. Absolute incredible pace that Soul Demon has shown so far. Critical Skills improves up to P6, drops Arbon down to 7. Kai will go into the pit lane, and Piotr's invalids on the final corner. A 2/10 improvement would have put him ahead of the Sauber of Auburn, but wouldn't have been any more than P7. And then we look at Uno Master improving by 1.7 seconds through the middle sector. It's going to be pole, but it is P3. What a lap in the end. Uno Master on the 2nd row. Soul Demon is going to go even quicker, because why not? A 123.720, and he is almost 1.4 seconds faster than anyone else out there. And Jesus will qualify in a disappointing P13, but man, Soul Demon in a league of his own, and I do wonder if he is going to be racing in Tier 3 in the actual season. Because with this pace, he certainly got the speed of the Tier 2s. And that is the end result then of qualifying. Soul Demon 1.3 ahead of Jumpy Painter. Soul Demon and Jumpy Painter first and second. Who would have thought? We've seen that many times last season. Unomaster in a really surprising P3 has really stepped up compared to last season. Lennon's P4, Twisteri, Wardy, Critical Skills, Arbon, Piotr, Sakai, A5 Wall, Sui Jesus, Overdue Red, and Zaid in P15 will round off the grid. It's raining again for the race as well. And good evening, Blitz. Welcome to the stream. So, full wet qualifying, or intermediate. It was raining at least, and now it's raining in the race as well. So it's not really going to be a representative race then, pace-wise. Well, at least in the wet, but not on dry pace. But Soul Demon, who wants to put their money on that he is going to win this race? Something is going on. Lobby restart. Aha. Not sure why, but it's going to be the case. So please hold on for a few moments before we can get this race going. Alright then. Very fast with sitting, yeah. Getting used to it now. I've done many races. I've hosted many races as well for Tier 3 for a couple of seasons now, so after a while you get used to it, you remember everything. Let's get everyone in as soon as possible. They should really add a way where you can invite multiple people at the same time. It takes so much time to scroll down every single time. Really annoying. Who are we missing? We are missing Jesus, because he is in my offline list. And I think someone else might be as well, but I'm not too sure. It's going to be controversial because we're going to have a draw race. So some people might not like it. Some do. Time to get some quality results. Restart always annoying, it is, yeah. Okay. Let's do the grid. We have got Mr. Soul Demon on pole position. Choppy Painter in second place, coach is all the way down there. And then it's Unimaster in P3. Lennon's in P4. Two Sterry in P5. Wardy in P6. Critical skills in 7th. Armor in 8th. Piotr's in 9. Kai in 10th place. Alpha Ball 11. Sui 12. Jesus 13. Overbred 14. And Zayt P15. Alright, all good grid wise. Well, let's do it again then. Oh, let's do it right. So we have a bit more time to prepare, if I needed it. But it's going to be a dry race now, so that's going to be interesting, because it might be totally different then compared to the times we just seen in qualifying. Of course, the times will be different, but the pace of the drivers. Might see some drivers have a charge through the field. But speaking of strategy, I wasn't speaking about it, but now I will. This track really eats up your tires. Yesterday in Tier 1, I'm gonna mention it again, but we had a dry race as well, and you can pull off a one-stop if you're not a controller, because that's basically a no-go in this game. Controllers really nerfed with tire wear. It's actually crazy, but you can do a one-stop, but the tires will be very high. I did a one-stop from mediums to hards. I put it on lap 16 from mediums, and the front lap was 90%, and I finished on 72% on the hards, which was the one-stop. But there are quite a lot of drivers who did a two-stop, which can be faster if you're in clean air, but when you get into traffic, then yeah, one-stop is the way to go if you can make it work, but it's really difficult to make it work. And yeah, it does indeed only work if you can keep the pace, which once again comes back to being in clean air. So it's going to be interesting to see. At the moment I see a lot of drivers on the softs, which I would very much not do. Because softs wear out very quickly. Although there was one driver in Tier 1 who did start on softs and did go on for quite a while. But well, for sure the softs wear out quicker than mediums. Should be. So yeah, we'll see. I think a one-stop might be quite optimistic, but it is doable. And critical skills might be one to try it out. He is going to start on the hards and just see where you go from there. But as you might know, if you've watched Tier 3 before, a safety car is always just around the corner, which you could throw around all the strategies and basically equal out the field again. So who knows, anything can happen, and it usually does in Tier 3, it's what I like to say. But a minute or so before we get this race going, and we officially get the season going with this first pre-season race. the first Tier 3 race under the Revolution name. You're going to commentate Tier 5 this season. Well, not full time at least. I'm not sure if we have got full time for Tier 5. But if they drop out, I think I could step in sometime. So I might do a few races, but not full time. Also depends on if there is a full-time Tier 5 commentator, then of course they will do the season, but if they miss it for any reason, then I should be available on Fridays as well, around 8, so I might do a race or two. We shall see. But it is 38, which means we can go ready. And as I hear the beeping sound, I know that we are going to go ready. So, prepare yourselves for the first Tier 3 season, Tier 3 race on F1 25. Soul Demon on ball with Jumpy Painter alongside, the side we have seen many times before. The 5 red lights are out and we're on the way for the Spanish Grand Prix. A great start for Soul Demon, not so much for Jumpy Painter, as he immediately lost the position to Uno Master and potentially Lennons as well. Uno Master is going to try and go for the race lead into turn 1. Goes wheel to wheel with Soul Demon and has to slot in behind the Alpine for now. Jumpy Painter stays in P3 just ahead of Lennons. Twitch Terry in P5, then it's Wardy in P6, and I think we have all made it through the first few corners without any troubles. And as I say that, we have lost Zaid in the Williams. Grass on the tires and must have spun through turn 3. But Soul Demon out in the lead, and he is on the softs. So is Uno Master, so is Lennons. And so is Overdue Bread. So 4 drivers on softs, everyone else on mediums apart from Kutkus Skills. He is starting on the hard compound tire. And yellow flags are out, and that is Albon's gone off in the middle sector. Did he get help from someone? Or did he just hit the curb too aggressively and send his Sauber around himself? We might be able to find out after the race, but he is dropped down to P15 as a result of that. And that is Party getting past towards Jeremy in a very unorthodox place, down to P7. The other Sauber goes as well. But we're going to have a change of lead because Uno Master has got past Soul Demon. And Uno Master for the first time in Tier 3 is leading a race, but look how close Soul Demon is to the back of the Ferrari. And is he going to try and go for the move into turn 4? Not quite. He is going to stay behind for now. And with Dirty Air being so strong on this year's game, he doesn't want to be staying behind for too long in this race. Triple Painter getting very close to the back of Soul Demon as well. Going into the ball, going off into the gravel is Twoosh Terry. Or is he? He might not be going off in the background, so might be some connection issues there for Twoosh Terry. Not too sure. But all is well on the front. Uno Master in the lead with Soul Demon 2 tenths behind. Oh, and that is the Ferrari hitting the inside curb and almost losing control of his car. Soul Demon goes back through, but Uno Master almost sent himself spinning around there on the exit of turn 12. And he now runs wide as well on the final corner with that Dirty Air. And here comes Jumpy Painter, here goes Uno Master, they're going to go 3 wide on the main straight. Jumpy Painter for the double overtake goes into the lead of this race. Uno Master, second place. Now Soul Demon is going to have Lennons around his outside as well, but is able to defend off the Red Bull and stays in P3. But the moment that Uno Master had in the final sector, in the end helped him out, because he has got DRS as a result of that. Soul Demon did not. So Soul Demon now down to P3. And Jumpy Painter into the lead of this race on the mediums. All 3 cars behind him on softs, and then a lot of medium runners. And L5 Wall already struggling to stay within DRS range of the top 7. And so is his teammate in this race. 1 second it is to L5 Wall. And he's got critical skills for company who is the sole driver on the hard compound tires. Soul Demon once again very close to the back of Unomaster, but you don't want to be too close into this final corner. But instead Unomaster goes really wide into the gravel, and now he's going to be under pressure from Lennons with the speed advantage. Gets past Unomaster, will drop down to P4 as Soul Demon retakes the lead of this race. He's get past Jumpy Painter, but Unomaster really struggling with the tires, with the dirty air and with the understeer through some of these corners, and he's down to P4, our former race leader. And that is True Sterry having some activities. Oh, Jumpy Painter is off. Jumpy Painter, what has happened in turn 4? Did he go off on his own again, like we've seen many times last season? I would hope not, for his sake. That it's another bottle job, but that is really unfortunate. I think Unomaster's got off as well. Oh, big spin, and has he hit the wall? I think he has. Front wing damage. Zaid picks up a 3-second time penalty, but it's all kicking off here on lap 4. So Unomaster has found the barrier, I think. Yes, he has. On the exit of turn 9, must have got into the gravel once again. And when he tried to rejoin, hit the curb and span himself across the track into the wall. And he is going to be pulling into the pit lane for a new front wing at least. So True Sterry gets up into second place because of that. Soul Demon out in front by a good second to the Sauber. But True Sterry has some connection problems. Albon into the pit lane as well. From mediums, he's got front wing damage. We'll go on to the hards. Not going to be a one stop. As Jumpy Painter is fighting it out with Kai. And he is going to get ahead of the RB E11. It's going to have to be a comeback for him though, as Kai sends it back up the inside. Fair play. And Jumpy Painter back down to P12. And impressive to see that True Sterry is able to stay close with Soul Demon. Around 7-8 tenths of a second. Lennons is dropping behind. So are the softs already starting to wear out. And we've got yellow flags. And Wardy is involved. Wardy has spun around out of turn 12. Another big name to drop down the order. Piotr's up to P3. Lennon's down to 4th. I think the softs are at the end of their life. And we might see Soul Demon, Lennons and Overdue Brad pulling into the pit lane soon for a new set of tires. Two McLarens after all that chaos. P5 and P6. They have dropped critical skills though, and that gap is around 3 seconds. Ooh, running wide is critical skills. That is going to allow Sue to get through up to P7. That's a second Ferrari to run wide there through turn 9. Soul Demon leads, going on to lap 7. But not for much longer, because here comes True Sterry, and True Sterry is going to take the lead of this race. The Kick Sauber into the lead, ahead of Soul Demon. And then it's a little bit of a gap towards Piotr's 1.3. Lennon's Alpha Ball and Jesus within striking distance. So we then another 4 seconds behind. With critical skills, Kai, Jumpy Painter, Overdue Brad and Zaid. So the whole field are in a Kick Sauber sandwich. As Alpha Ball goes up the inside of Lennon's. Good move to put him into P4. As I think Jumpy Painter has got past Kai again. So he's back up into B9. A lot of tire smoke there into the braking zone of turn 10. Still haven't fixed that on this game. And is Soul Demon going to try and re-overtake on this lap? He's got the overspeed, he's going to pull to the inside. And Soul Demon retakes the lead of this race on lap 8. As Wardy has gone off again. While Alpha Ball and Piotr have a nice scrap here out of turn 2. And the Aston Martin is going to stay ahead for now. Alpha Ball looking to find a way past. While his teammate Jesus is going to try and go up the inside of Lennons, who is on these old softs. And Jesus gets past quite easily. Up to B5. Great comeback for him so far. We are quite used to seeing Jesus fighting his way back through the field. B13 to B5 so far. Alpha well up 7 as well. Piotr's up 6. And Wardy, absolute nightmare he's having in this race, as he has just spun again in turn 5. Things are not going his way so far on F125, it seems. Ooh, really wide there for Piotr's out of the final corner, and that is going to allow Alpha Ball to go through while Twisteri retakes the lead of this race. Alpha Ball puts an Aston Martin in between himself and his teammate. And so he is closing the gap a little bit, as Kai is fighting to get out with overdue Brett. Bit of contact between the two. And Sue is lost out to Jumpy Painters up to P8 now. And Critical Skills is back up to P7. While Zaid is gonna get past the Alpine as well. It's now up into P11. Big moment on the exit. And almost collects overdue Brett, but somehow no contact between the two of them. And Zaid stays ahead for now. Another yellow flag. Another spin for Wardy. And down to last place he will go. Tires must be dead for Wardy now as well, with all those spins. Rear tires especially, as Soul Demon is going to pull into the pit lane. The end of lap 10. And so is Lennons. Both have started on the softs. And they will go on to a set of mediums. Overdue Brett into the pit lane as well. All three of them starting on softs. Jumpy Painter now back into the top 5. Another yellow flag, and you would have guessed it. It's Wardy again. Is he going to make it to the pit lane? He is not going to pit as he just continues on. Get some more hours on this game. And never give up. You never know what happens in races like this. But Twisteri, he's out in front on his own now. He's got 3.5 seconds to Alpha Wall. And let's see how long he's going to be able to stretch this stint. He's going to have to make it to at least lap 15 to go for a 1-stop. So that means 5 more laps on these tires. As Jesus finds some clean air on the main straight to cool things down. Straight into the pit lane, and Wardy I think has gone off again. And Zaid is going to go onto the hards, but he's not going to be able to make it to the end. 22 laps. A little bit too long for the hards. And over to Red. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Not quite going to be able to do that for the switchback. Harbin trying to find a way past as well. These three in a bit of a scrap here for P12. So Wardy has retired from this race in pit lane, unfortunately. Really struggling in this race. Big moment there for Adam on the exit. Let's hope Wardy's AI will not hinder any of these drivers. Don't think he will, as Kai now pulls into the pit lane on lap 12. From the mediums, quite early for mediums, so we might be looking at a 2-stop then. He is going to go onto the hards, so let's see if he's going to be able to make that. It's going to be very difficult. As here comes overdue Red up the inside, offside, and he is up to P11. And Kai comes out of the pit lane in P14. Tuasteri is still out in front by 3.5 seconds to Alpha Ball. The gap hasn't really changed over these last few laps. And Alpha Ball has got a gap towards Piotr and Jesus, who are both pulling into the pit lane at the end of lap 13. And I think this is all a little bit too early for a one-stop. So does Jumpy Painter. And well, it's definitely not going to be a one-stop for Jesus, because he's gone for a set of softs. While Piotr spits for hards. Jesus definitely committing then to a 2-stop strategy with 20 laps to go in this race. Critical skills started on the hard. Now in P3, 7 seconds behind Alpha Wall. And a few tenths ahead of Sui in the Red Bull. Then it's Soul Demon already. 4 seconds behind him. Soul Demon is definitely going for a 2-stop. Tuasteri continuing on. So does Alpha Wall for 2 more laps, and then they will be going for a 1-stop. Should be able to make it to the end. As critical skills, definitely not. As he is going to go to the pit lane from the hards. He's not going to make 18 laps on mediums. If he only does 12 on hards, also to the mediums. So I think that's going to be a 2-stop as well. As Jesus gets past Piotr's up to P5. And now he's in some clean air on the soft, which is what you want. With this strategy, build as much of a gap to the cars behind. And knowing that he's going to have to pit again in this race in the car behind. Probably not. Though they are going to have to very difficult at the end. Because 13, 20 laps on hards is very difficult. Might be near puncture territory at the end of the race. Tuasteri, if he does one more lap, then he is definitely going to be able to do a 1-stop, but he's going to put the pit lane on this lap. So it's going to have to be 19 laps on hards. It might be doable, but it's definitely not going to be easy. But you might as well try it. Because it's too late to go for a 2-stop now. Soul Demon will re-inherit the race lead. And by quite a bit as well. To Tuasteri. In fact, Lennons gets ahead of him as well. There he comes out in P3 on the hards, and he's around 7 seconds behind Soul Demon, who has spit 5 laps earlier. Ooh, big scrap here at the back end of the top 10. Critical Skills with Uno Master and Sui all fighting on the same piece of tarmac. Critical Skills, who has just pitted, Uno Master. His stars are a little bit older, 10 laps already on these mediums. So Sui trying to go the long way around the outside of turn 5. Not quite able to pull it off. The Alpine of Overdue Bread has a look as well. So 6 drivers in this train here from P9 downwards. I think Sui's definitely going to try and get past on the main straight. Yellow flags ahead, and that is Jumpy Painter's gone off again in this race. Through turn 12, he must have hit the curb then and lost control. Not what you want to see when your name is Jumpy Painter, as someone went really wide. I think it was 8 in the Williams. Losing a lot of speed coming out of the final corner, which allows Guy to have half a look up the inside, maybe then round the outside here, which turns to the inside of turn 3, and he does, and he gets past Guy. Great move as he gets ahead of the Williams. Up to P11 he won't. And Uno Master spitted for a second time. Onto the hards he goes, which should be able to take him to the end of the race. Twister around 7.5 seconds now behind Soul Demon, so he's not losing too much on these hards, which will help him at the end of the race. He's gonna have Jesus for company though, who is on the softs. And is Jesus gonna try and get past already on lap 70? We're halfway through this race. Here comes the McLaren. With the overspeed to the inside, he will go, and Jesus into the podium places. But he is on the softs and he has to pit again. But the true story now is to hope that the McLaren will not start losing time and tire grip, because then he will lose a lot of time as well behind the McLaren. Soul Demon has got 6 seconds towards Lennon's. And Jesus actually closing the gap towards Lennon's, and he's bringing True Sterry with him. And we're gonna go on to lap 18. And Jesus, once again, looking to go for the move. He's quite far back, and he's not gonna go past on this lap. We're staring now closing back gap towards Jesus, so his hearts must be getting the benefit compared to the softs. He's been on these McLaren for 5 laps now. Definitely near the end of its star life. This guy picks up a 3-second time penalty. Lots of penalties down the order. A little bit wide there for Jesus, but he doesn't pick up a 3-second time penalty. Yellow flags are out for Kai. In the second sector, as Toursterry has half a look at the inside as well. And now he is starting to lose time to Soul Demon, and he needs to find a way past as soon as possible. As Alpha Ball gets past. Piotr is up to P5. Kai is going to pull into the pit lane. And that is a 10-second time penalty, clearly unhappy. So he must have had an incident with someone. And Toursterry has got past Jesus up to P3. Jesus down to P4. Not quite sure what happened at the back of the field on the previous lap. But both RBs out of the race. Both teammates at Haas last season in Tier 3. Kai and Wardy were in the fight for the Constructors' Championship against the Saubers of Soul Demon and Jumpy Painter. And Toursterry would want to get past his former teammate in Tier 3. And he does so into turn 1. Toursterry into second place. And now he's got clean track ahead of him as Snipes has joined the session. But Toursterry's got 7 seconds towards Soul Demon. And now he's going to try and bring that gap down a little bit. Soul Demon definitely is going to have to pit again. And if he's going to go for a soft medium Soul Demon, then I think he should go for 1, maybe 2 more laps and then pull into the pit lane. You can really see that he's already sliding with the back end. And he's going to continue on for now. And the gap remains the same towards Toursterry. And Jesus, I must say, doing a good job to stay close to the cars in front, despite having 8-lap-old soft tires. Stays within the DRS range of Lennon's, who is on 11-lap-old mediums. And Toursterry is starting to gain time on Soul Demon. A few tenths through the first sector already. Down to 6.7. As Arbon sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:15.1. He does that on a brand new set of mediums. But I can imagine that Soul Demon will be able to beat that once he pits for his final pit stop, for his final stint. And Toursterry is now really gaining time, 6.2, almost a second gain on this lap. And Soul Demon is going to pull into the pit lane, going on to lap 22. So it's going to be 12 laps on medium, so does Linens and Jesus, all 3 of them into the pit lane. And mediums will go on to the Alpine and on to the Red Bull as well, and so on the McLaren. R5 Wall will try to go for the 1-stop, and Piotr might as well, but his situation is a little bit more difficult because he's done 2 more laps on the hards, so he's going to have to save the tires. He's going to have to manage those tires till the end of the race, because 20 laps is not easy at all on the hards. I did, what was it, 17 laps I think on hards yesterday, and the front left was 73. So yeah, not going to be easy, that's for sure. Soul Demon gets past critical skills. What he doesn't need to do now is go flat out. He can do a few quick laps, but you don't want to wear out your tires this early on, because you don't have the advantage once you close the gap towards your target, which is towards Terry in this case. So he's going to have to be mindful about not wearing out the tires too quickly. He's going to have to need them at the final few laps of this race. Z2 is not really driving anymore into the pit lane, so down to 12 runners in this race. Terry out in front, and Mike looking at his first race win in Tier 3. If he makes it to the end on the stars, and if he's going to be able to keep Soul Demon behind. Two big ifs. Got around 3 seconds still to R5 wall. Piotr is holding on as well. Jumping Painter on those mediums, he will pit in the following laps. And Critical Skills, after only 9 laps on mediums. And he has to pit again. He is really struggling with tire wear. He's doing a hard medium strategy, actually no, hard medium soft. So he's gonna have to do 10 laps on softs, while he just only did 9 on medium, so that's going to be difficult for him to make it to the end. Let's see if he's going to be able to pull that off. His teammate is going to get ahead of him. Uno Master P9 on all hards. And the two Red Bulls being chased by a McLaren. Well, actually only Sui is being chased by the McLaren, because Lennons has pit. He has pitted a few laps ago as well, when Jesus pit, so Jesus would want to get past Sui as soon as possible to be able to profit from these tires. And he's going to do just that on the exit of turn 9. Jumpy Painter now into the pit lane. 12 laps he's done on these mediums. Is he going to risk it and go onto softs? Or is he going to play it safe and go onto mediums? He is going to go onto the softs. As Lennons now sets the fastest lap of the race. 1:15.0. Well, at the front end, Terry still got about a 3-second gap towards R5 wall. And Soul Demon, he is gaining time, but at this pace, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to win it. Because he is still 10 seconds behind Terry with 8 laps to go. So he has to gain just over a second per lap while keeping the tires alive. It's a difficult task for the runner-up in the championship last season. Seems like Terry has lost some time to R5 wall. Down 2.8. As Jumpy Painter on his brand new set of softs. Might be going for the fastest lap here. He's got a purple final sector. Might as well use these tires to get the absolute fastest lap of the race. He is not purple through sector 1, but that probably is due to the fact that he did not have DRS there. He must be pretty close to that time though, through sector 1. But where he really will make the difference is through sector 2 and 3. and especially sector 2. Some low speed corners. Into the final sector, look how much time he's gained on the cars in front. I think it was around 4 or 5 seconds behind. Going into the slap, the gap's now down to 2.5 towards Soul Demon. He's caught up to the Aston Martin of Piotrus, and he's got past. The gap is now 7 seconds to Twisteri. So I take back what I said. Well, Jumpy Payne just sets the 1:14.4 fast lap of the race. At this rate, Soul Demon will catch up to Twisteri, but he still got that task of keeping his stars alive. But so does Twisteri. Let's not forget that. Because in 6 laps time, these hearts will be at the end of their lives as well. It's going to be close, that's for sure. And 6 laps to go. The gap has remained the same towards R5 wall. But Soul Demon 3 seconds behind Alpha Pole, only 6 seconds behind Twisteri now. He is gaining time rapidly as Jumpy Painter's got past Sui. And to put his Mercedes up to P7. As Unamaster and Overdue Brad fight it out there for P10. Ferrari is going to stay ahead for now. Weaving around on this straight. But here comes the Alpine of Overdue Brad, switches to the inside aggressively, and he is going to get that position up to P10. And Unamaster drops down to 11. And is now going to be under pressure from Arwen as well. And I must say, Soul Demon has not really gained a lot of time on this lap. And the gap is around 5.5 now, so that's half a second gained. But he needs to gain a little bit more every lap. So 5 laps to go. And the gap is 5.5. So that means 1.1 second gained every single lap. And then he will be near Twisteri at the finish. Unamaster running wide once again. Chasing Overdue Bread, using his battery. Hasn't got a lot left. But he's going to try and go for it regardless. Round the outside. Through turn 1, wheel to wheel between the Ferrari and the Alpine. He goes round the outside, and that's a good move to put himself up to P10 again. To re-overtake the Alpine. And Unamaster is back in front of Overdue Bread, was piping on 13 lap, all hards. Nicely done, round the outside of turn 1. As Overdue Bread is going to send it up the inside though, in turn 5. But the Ferrari gets the better exit. And stays ahead of the Alpine. And Soul Demon, he's gained 1.1 seconds on this lap, so he's on target right now. 4.5 with 4 laps to go. But he has lost a lot of time at the end of the main straight. And Jesus gets past Lennon's up into P5, both on 8 lap old mediums. So it's a legitimate fight for P5. And with Piotr's 3 second time penalty, they might be able to get P4. He's currently 3.4 seconds behind Piotr's, but he's on 17 lap old hearts. And the Tarber must be getting to him at this stage. No DRS just yet for Soul Demon, but he is trying to get close to R5 wall. Going into this final sector. And now he has the DRS. Go on to lap 31, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it to Twisteri, as he has a very interesting line through the final corner, which is going to cost him on this main straight. If he doesn't get past Alpha wall now, then he might not be able to get Twisteri. And he doesn't, and now he's going to be behind the McLaren with the dirty air. While Twisteri is out there in front in clean air, and the gap is still around 4 seconds to Soul Demon with less than 3 laps to go. The only task that Twisteri has now is to keep his tires alive. And Soul Demon has DRS. And is he going to go for the move here up the inside? He wants to get past as soon as possible up the inside of turn 10. And Soul Demon gets past R5 wall. But will the McLaren be able to get back at the Alpine going on to the start-finish straight? I'm not too sure. I think he's a little bit too far behind. But we go on to lap 32 of 33, the penultimate lap of this race. And the gap is still 3 seconds, and here comes R5 Wall. He's going to get past, round the outside, to the left hand side he goes. And R5 Wall back into second place. He does not want to give up the fight for P2 in this race. And I think Soul Demon has been limited to P2 in this race, because the gap towards Twisteri is still 3.5 seconds. We have 1.5 laps to go. Look at this fight then. Jesus and Lennons have completely closed the gap towards Piotr's. Wheelmaster and Overdue Brett still fighting it out for that P10 position. And Arbon putting into the pit lane. While Soul Demon gets past Alpha 1, the same spot as he did last lap. Another penalty for Piotr's, which is going to cost him potentially to Jumpy Painter. Arbon onto the brand who still has softs. Will be going for the fastest lap of the race, I think, on the final lap, as Piotr's very slow out of turn 10. He's let both of them by. And look at the state of that front left tire. Look at the graining. Yeah, that's going to be very difficult to nurse his way home. But Alpha Ball re-overtakes Soul Demon on the final lap of this race. Twisteri is out in the lead. And it's got 3 seconds to Alpha Ball as Lennons and Jesus fight it out for P4. Lennons the moment ahead of the McLaren. But is there anything Jesus can do? Not with the dirty air. She loses a few tenths on the exit. And Jumpy Painter has completely closed the gap as well to these two. And Jesus tries to go the long way around the outside into turn 5 on the exit. Has the better exit. Brilliant exit there for Jesus. Now on the outside. Side by side with Lennons, who's on the inside. Still they're going at it. And just about stays ahead, the Red Bull. And Jesus has to settle for P5 now, but has got the DRS going on to this straight. And Soul Demon and Alpha Ball fighting it out as well on the exit. Soul Demon is going to get ahead of Alpha Ball. Lennons stays ahead. But let's take a look at this man, Twisteri. Take a bow as he is going to cross the line to win his first race in Tier 3. Twisteri is your winner of pre-season here in Barcelona. What a performance with the one stop. Incredible drive ahead of Soul Demon and Alpha Wall. Twisteri wins for the first time ever. And he has executed that to perfection. Lennons in the end is going to get that P4 just ahead of Jesus. Jumpy Painter in P6, Piotr's with his penalty in P7. Sui in P8, Critical Skills in P9. Overdue Brett, the Uno Master very close behind as well in 10 and 11. And is Arbon going to get the fastest lap of the race? That is what we can wait for as he goes through the final sector. It is going to be P12 for the Quick Sauber. And he crosses the line, and it is the fastest lap of the race. So that's at least something. But what a great race in the end, with some good battles come the end of the race. And well done to Musteri. Brilliant result, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come further in this season. And see him fight for race wins. Great race indeed, and thank you, Blitz. Thank you very much. And I'm glad you enjoyed that one. As we look at this podium, I certainly enjoyed it as well. Fastest lap went to Arben. Driver today, Jesus, and the most overtakes to Sui. So no cleanest driver in Tier 3. The jokes really do write themselves, don't they? But here is the final result. Musteri from P5 on the grid to the race win. Alpha Wall from 11th to a podium. Also a great strong comeback drive for Jesus, like we're used to see from him. But Arbon with the fastest of a race, 1:14.2. That is your confirmation. Let's get the results in. But anyway, that is it then for tonight. Next week we will be back with another preseason race and final preseason race at Abu Dhabi. So I'm looking forward to that one, and I hope you all enjoyed. For those who tune into the stream, thank you very much. That's it from me tonight, though, and I will see you guys next time as we go back to the race for some reason. 3 weeks from now on. It sounds like it's very far away, but it's going to be 3rd of July in no time. We're not going to do this race again. I'm not sure why it's unloaded it again. Yeah, 3 weeks till the start of the season. One more preseason race, but thank you all for tuning in, and see you next time. Goodbye.